Hello and welcome to Veterans Voices, honoring those who serve. I'm Shannon Heggie.
I'm Mike Montecalvo. Over the next half hour, we'll be sharing both local and national veteran stories. And we start with one right here at home.
The Rhode Island Fire Chiefs Honor Flight Hub recently took more than 90 veterans to Washington, D.C. to visit memorials dedicated to their service. Each veteran was accompanied by a guardian, some veterans themselves, others, like Mike, a longtime friend.
I accompanied Bob Elmer, who was my mentor when I worked in radio back in 1985. When Bob came home from Vietnam, there were no parades and no celebrations. But that all ended October 22nd. Here's the latest honor flight. So Bob, what's going through your mind right now?
Mike, I'm really excited about this. It's such a special day. And when I came back from Vietnam in 1971, it wasn't a lot of fun to be a Vietnam veteran.
It's time to change all that.
It's overwhelming.
You see the signs that are saying welcome. You didn't get that when you came back.
We sure did not. There's nothing like it. We were told, get out of our uniforms.
Robert Elmer III's family military history goes back to the War of 1812. Grandfather World War I, Dad World War II, Bob Vietnam, all Navy men. Bob served from March 1967 to March 1971. Bob, it's been pretty good so far. We're waiting for the plane.
You know, Mike, one of the things that I'm sensing is a very sincere sense of appreciation.
He's correct. Total strangers greeting our heroes at BWI Airport in Baltimore.
It's something we didn't get 52 years ago. There was nobody applauding us. If you've worn the uniform, you're part of something pretty special. But this really gives you a real true sense of that. Thank you, I appreciate it. What a treat.
And we're about 10 minutes away from our first stop, the World War II Memorial.
Wow.
Bob was 19 and on his way to Vietnam when he visited Normandy.
Thank you for your service.
You get to the cemetery, the Normandy cemetery, there's 9,300 graves there. There's a wall with 2,800 names on them. Guys, they never been found. Pretty easy to think back and imagine what the hell happened that unfortunate day.
Our next stop, bringing back memories, the Vietnam War Memorial.
I mean, this really comes close to home because I know names that are on it.
Hey, Bob, who are you looking for?
Frank Litchfield. Frank was, I'm from Dedham, Massachusetts, and I was, Frank and I went to high school together. First Lieutenant, United States Army. Got him. You see these names, it makes the whole thing become very real. This is the guy that I walked down the halls of my high school with. And they all deserve remembering and our respect and certainly our appreciation and our gratitude.
One of the most moving visits of our trip is our next stop, Arlington National Cemetery, home. Enthusiastically says, Guardian.
Thank you. How much I love you. This has been one of the most remarkable days of my life.
This is the fourth one I went on. Every one is different, but when you go to the Vietnam War Memorial and you see people just put their hands on the wall, it's chilling.
And this one was personal for you. It was so nice that you were there.
Known him for so long. He's not told a lot of stories until this one day.
It was a beautiful piece.
Thank you.
Still ahead on Veterans Voices, one Marine's inspiring mission to walk 48 miles in 24 days and help those struggling with PTSD. It's an alarming statistic. 22 veterans lose their battle to PTSD on American soil every day. According to the Veterans Administration, that's one every 65 minutes.
But one local veteran who has struggled himself is on a mission to make a difference.
I'm doing this to raise awareness towards suicide. A piece of this is to help me out as well.
A former Marine.
Because you got to appreciate everything that you have in life.
On a mission.
The trees, the ground that we step on, being able to walk, being able to breathe, simplicities of life.
Walking 48 miles in 24 days.
We're strong. I'm strong.
To raise awareness and money to help those who struggle with the thoughts of suicide.
I am a veteran who tried to commit suicide at one point in my life. I want everybody to understand that, hey, there's resources out there.
Joshua Oliveira spent 4 years in the Marines.
I had a band of brothers and sisters. I had people that looked out for me. And I just realized that either one, I was gonna end up in jail, end up on drugs, or just end up homeless. So I knew I needed to do something, and I always wanted to join the military.
When he got out in 2011, he fell into a deep depression and the unthinkable, the idea of suicide.
Hopping in a car and doing 120 and closing my eyes and hoping that I die. And
Josh telling me it was a wake-up call, and he knew he had to get help because he had too much to live for. That's why Josh is walking from Mission 22, an organization dedicated to helping active service members, veterans, and their families throughout any struggles, PTSD, anxiety, or depression.
And I'm hoping that this will be the thing to just stop everybody from saying, hey, how you doing? And change that narrative into, hey, what's going on in your mind? I'm gonna have to check that spot out then.
Oliveira now earns a living as a hairstylist and hopes to teach one day.
It's really just about that awareness.
He says getting out of the Marine Corps and transitioning into society is difficult for a lot of soldiers, including himself.
You have a higher understanding for things, or you have a higher moral for certain things. And when you have that and you come into a world that doesn't tightly agree with that, it messes with you.
For now, Josh taking one step at a time. What are you thinking about when you're walking?
What I could do to better myself. Sometimes it's just clear the head, leave it nice, open and empty, and then just soak in your surroundings around the world.
Once a Marine, always a Marine. Josh is hoping his message is heard. If you or someone you know is struggling, contact the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. And if you're a veteran looking for help, you can go to mission22.com.
And still ahead, an important project telling the stories of our World War II heroes. We'll meet the man committed to visiting them all. Welcome back to Veterans Voices. A California man is making it his life's work to document the stories of veterans from World War II from all around the globe.
And while few remain alive, time is of the essence. Kareem Winter has the story.
You ready?
Yeah, I think that's good.
He's traveling the world on a mission to track down war heroes.
I'm in New Zealand. I'm about to drive 4 hours to get to a veteran interview with the World War II veteran named Peter Sheehan.
Rishi Sharma has always had a fascination with the history of World War II. What started as a passion in high school, speaking with veterans about their days in combat, turned into an adventurous career on the road. 7 years in the making.
Are you Mr. Sheehan? Right. It is such an honor to meet you.
25-year-old Sharma is spotlighting these surviving unsung heroes. Some of their stories have never been told until now. On this cloudy Wednesday morning, Sharma's back in the States, Westlake Village, his old neighborhood, reconnecting with a familiar face.
Hey, how are you, Mr. Moran?
Good morning, Rick.
Retired Army Staff Sergeant Jack Moran. Sharma first met the World War II veteran in high school during bike rides to seniors' houses to casually chat about the war.
Well, my name is Benjamin Portaro.
I'm Albert Jansen.
Since then, Sharma has professionally interviewed more than 2,100 World War II veterans, including here in the U.S. He's the head of the nonprofit Remember World War II, which has its own YouTube channel with links to veteran interviews. His work entirely fueled by donations.
Oh, wow, this is great.
Sharma shares those recorded sessions with veterans and their families and provides the footage to universities and schools around the globe.
All World War II veterans are in their 90s and 100s. The youngest combat veteran is 96. And so time is of the essence when it comes to capturing these stories.
This is the Bronze Star.
It makes them feel so appreciated that someone at such a young age cares about what they went through. What was your first combat experience. What was that like?
The 98-year-old enlisted in the Army at 17. He and one other soldier in his platoon were the only ones to make it home.
I feel like I'm contributing now at this age that I never dreamt that I would. And it makes me feel good because I'm making an impression on people.
This video testimony gives the veteran the opportunity to live forever. Their great-great-great-great-grandkids, they're going to get to know the way he looked, the way he talked, the way he tells stories, the way he laughs. It really preserves them for eternity.
Sharma says he's just getting started. His passport battered from non-stop travel.
We've done interviews in Canada, all of the UK, the Isle of Man, Australia, New Zealand, France, the Netherlands.
Next stop, the Bay Area, as he wraps another visit.
I'm serious when I say that I'm going to be interviewing World War II veterans until none of them are left.
What's become this young man's life work, preserving the stories of some of the hundreds of thousands of Americans who bravely served their country. He's not just focused on the numbers, but finding their names to ensure the so-called greatest generation is never forgotten.
Stories that need to be told. Well, for the first time, Operation Stand Down Rhode Island is bringing its boots on the ground for Heroes Memorial out of state. Officials announced they're bringing the display to Gillette Stadium this Veterans Day weekend. It will be open to the public today through Sunday if you'd like to visit and pay your respects. Earlier today, there was a ceremony in honor of New England's Gold Star families. Most recently, the memorial has been held at Fort Adams in Newport.
Up next, we'll show you how a group of elementary schoolers are recognizing what being a veteran truly means. Welcome back to Veterans Voices. Recently, a new monument was unveiled here in Rhode Island. The Indigenous Veterans Monument now stands at the Rhode Island Veterans Memorial Cemetery in Exeter. Native people have the highest per capita involvement in all branches of the armed services, serving at 5 times the national average, according to members of the Narragansett tribe.
And another tribute happening locally just in time for Veterans Day. The Reese Across America mobile education exhibit recently made its way to Rhode Island. The exhibit's national tour made a stop in Portsmouth, hosted by Project Blue Star, as well in Ashaway for the Rhode Island DAR to honor Rhode Islanders who served. The stops serve as a welcome home for Vietnam veterans. The coordinator for the Rhode Island Veterans Cemetery spoke about the importance of this exhibit.
The premise of Reach Across America is remember, honor, and teach. And we remember the fallen, honor the living, and teach our young children about veterans and why we have veterans and what it means to be a veteran.
You can sponsor a veteran's wreath anytime for $17 at wreathsacrossamerica.org. Each sponsorship goes toward a live balsam wreath that will be placed on the headstone of an American hero. Seeing those on the headstones every year, it's so heartwarming. It means a lot.
It's emotional. Absolutely. Thank you for joining us for Veterans Voices, honoring those who serve. And we thank all active military and veterans for their service on this Veterans Day.
Good night.